Hi, my name is David Brevik, and I'm the CEO of Gazillion Entertainment, and we make a game called Marvel Heroes 2015. It is linked to Diablo in that I created Diablo 1 and 2. I was president of Blizzard North for 10 years. I did a lot of programming on the Diablo series as well. And so a lot of that expertise we used to create Marvel Heroes 2015. It is an action RPG just like Diablo was, but you play as the Marvel superheroes. So it is free to play, and you can download it and play all the content completely for free. As you play the game, you can earn a currency that allows you to buy other heroes. You get one hero to start, but you can also buy them, very similar to League of Legends. We also sell skins and some other things that you can buy, but mainly you can experience all the content and get all the heroes completely for free. So it is like WoW. There are some similarities because it is a massive multiplayer game. But when most people think of a massive multiplayer game, they think that they are going to go to a person and they're going to get 6 quests and they're going to go out and they're going to pick 5 apples and then they're going to go kill 7 wolves and then they're going to go back to this person and turn that in and keep doing this all around this giant world. But that's not what the game is like at all. The game is very much like a Diablo game where there's a storyline. You play through a storyline. There's lots of action and things like that, and that's how you level up in this game. It's not by doing all these small quests all over a world. It's massive multiplayer in that there are lots of people in the same world at the same time. There's thousands of people online all together, and any given time there'll be other people running around doing their own thing inside the zone, defeating enemies and whatnot. And so you can kind of team up dynamically as well as go your separate way dynamically. It is a game for loot as well, but there's more than just that. One of the things that we just added, there's lots of challenges. You can PvP in the game. You can also work on trying to create a character powerful enough to participate in raids. And there's lots of other things to do, including getting loot. You can customize your character and as well getting your powers, making sure your items increase your powers themselves. A lot of our items modify your actual power abilities. We have a lot of characters in the game. We have about 40 different characters, different playable heroes. And each one plays like a separate class in most action RPGs. They're very different from each other. And some of the ones that we just recently added, we added Guardians of the Galaxy, we added Rogue just recently, and she can steal powers from all sorts of different enemies and heroes throughout the game and kind of collect her own power set. We're releasing Nova next week, and then we get into the villains where we're going to be doing Juggernaut, Magneto, and Venom are the first 3. Then next year we have the plans to do a bunch of other heroes. We've just announced that we'll be doing Doctor Doom and Winter Soldier and She-Hulk and Iron Fist and many others. And you can go to the website to see more. We also may throw in a few surprise heroes between now and the end of the year as well. So we release about 1 a month. It's the most popular hero it's Human Torch as far as number of people that have that character past level 1. But most popular character in my mind and for me is Rocket Raccoon. We have both comics versions of Groot and also the movie version of Groot. And that depending on which costumes you're wearing, then Groot will look different. If you wear the movie costumes, then Groot will look like with Rocket Raccoon, Groot will look like he does in the movies. If he looks like he does in the comics, if you're wearing your Marvel Now costume. We have lots of game modes. Like I said, the main way to get through the game is through a storyline. You can play the storyline on different difficulties. We call them heroic and super heroic difficulty, very similar to the Nightmare in Hell versions of Diablo. And then we also have other endgame modes like X Defense, which is a wave battle that gets harder and harder and the loot gets better and better. And you play that with 5 other people. We have the same kind of thing, but with 2 people called HoloSim. We have Midtown Patrol, which is an endless wave mode where you're in there with 10 other people working together to defeat bosses. And then we have a new one coming up called Brooklyn Patrol, which will be a group of 10 people that will work together to complete quests, kind of a social version of that, more of a social version of the Midtown Manhattan. We also have other end game activities like PvP and raids. The loot itself does not modify the way that you look. There are some items that will give you some particle effects or something like that, but they don't actually change the way you look, because Marvel would never allow you to be basically a clown-looking Spider-Man with white legs and red suit and different, it just would never work. So the items themselves modify all your stats, though, and modify your powers, and there's a random attributes associated with all of them. They're randomly generated, and there's different rarities. There's common, uncommon, rare, cosmic, unique, all sorts of different types of items to get. So we are in putting in the villains, and the way that is, I think that's what you're asking, right? Yeah, so we're just introducing villains. That's coming later this month, maybe as early as next month. And there's a new storyline that will kind of explain their involvement in the. Then once that story has been explained, then I think that you'll be able to fight side by side with all of your friends and do things together, playing as the villains. Stan Lee is actually in our game, and we got to meet him, and he did a voice. We have Agent Lee is one of the characters, and so he's an NPC that you can ask some questions to, and he gives you a few little lines. So it's kind of a little secret in the game. He did. He worked with us, and we got to meet him and go into the recording booth with him, and he did a bunch of dialogue. He's pretty old, so it was a pretty special treat to be able to meet him in real life. Kind of a dream come true for myself. There are 8,000 characters in the Marvel Universe, so we have a long list to get to still. Plenty of choices. In fact, we debated long and hard about what characters are going to be coming next year, because the list is very long that we would like to add to the game. It would make sense to keep doing that. Right now, the way that a lot of journalistic sites work is that once an MMO comes out, they only will look at the game again once they come out with an expansion. But because our game is free to play and it gets updated every week, and we don't have an expansion or a reason for people to come back and look at the game again, we decided to go with this method of trying to get people to take a look at the game and how much it's changed in the last year. And we found it very effective. I talked about different plans for some companion things for your iOS or Android that would link into your account and allow you to have access to some features. We've also talked about and are considering doing a console version of the product, and we would have more announcements for that in the future. It's still underway. The technical feasibility is underway right now. If you've played the game already, I would really love you to come back and try it again. It has changed tremendously. We patch the game every week. There's new events, new heroes, new things to do all the time. And it's free, so you just need to download, spend a little time downloading, and you can get into the game. It's easy.
To battle! All shall fall.